William Lyon Mackenzie was a Scottish-Canadian-American journalist and politician who served as the 10th Prime Minister of Canada for 3 non-consecutive terms from 1921 to 1926, 1926 to 1930, and 1935 to 1948. A Liberal, he was the dominant politician in Canada from the early 1920s to the late 1940s. He founded newspapers critical of the Family Compact, a term used to identify elite members of Upper Canada. Born December 17, 1874, Kitchener, Canada. Died July 22, 1950, Chelsea, Canada. Education: University College, 1895, Harvard University. Where there is little or no public opinion, there is likely to be a bad government, which sooner or later becomes an autocratic government. It is what we prevent, rather than what we do, that counts most in government. Far more has been accomplished for the welfare and progress of mankind by preventing bad actions than by doing good ones. Fortunately, the Canadian people in all their habits are essentially temperate people. For one cause or another, it has become necessary to impose restrictions upon the use of many commodities, including not a few of the necessities of life. Nor do we begin to have a clear appreciation of what the increase in consumption of alcoholic beverages in wartime means in increased risk, and in loss of efficiency to the fighting and working forces of the country. I would not wish to imply that most industrial accidents are due to intemperance. But, certainly, temperance has never failed to reduce their number. As to the advantages of temperance in the training of the armed forces and of its benefits to the members of the forces themselves, there can be no doubt in the world. Since the outbreak of war, there has been in our country a steady increase in the consumption of spirits, wine and beer. It is estimated that in dollar volume, the annual outlay is now practically double what it was before the war. Regardless of what one's attitude towards prohibition may be, temperance is something against which, at a time of war, no reasonable protest can be made. The anxiety of most parents in seeing their sons and daughters enlist does not lie only in the fear of the physical dangers they may encounter. Just when we most need to be clear-headed, in order to face the hard facts before us, there is all too frequently a very real inclination to give way to dangerous tendencies merely as an escape from realities. Temperance is essential if the services of men and women are to be employed to the best and most useful effect according to the physical capacity and ability of each. Nothing less will assure a total effort. A true man does not only stand up for himself, but he also stands up for those that do not have the ability to. Each year, therefore, $1 spent on alcoholic beverages has purchased a smaller quantity. Until the control of the issue of currency and credit is restored to the government and recognized as its most conspicuous and sacred responsibility, all talks of the sovereignty of Parliament and of democracy are idle and futile. From the outset of the war, the Canadian people have clearly shown that it is their desire to help in every way to make Canada's war effort as effective as possible. The people of Canada do not wish as a result of mass immigration to make a fundamental alteration in the character of our population. Large-scale immigration from the Orient would change the fundamental composition of the Canadian population. Government, in the last analysis, is organized opinion. Where there is little or no public opinion, there is likely to be bad government. It is what we prevent, rather than what we do, that counts most in government. I believe that people had a true instinct in most matters of government when left alone. That they were not swayed, as specially favored individuals were, by personal interest, but rather by a sense of what best served the common good, that they recognized the truth when it was put before them, and that a leader can guide so long as he kept to the right lines. I did not think it was a mark of leadership to try to make the people do what one wanted them to do. Once a nation parts with the control of its credit, it matters not who makes the laws. The politicians' promises of yesterday are the taxes of today. Conscription if necessary, but not necessarily conscription. Let it be remembered, too, that at a time of war, nearly everyone is under great strain. Far more has been accomplished for the welfare and progress of mankind by preventing bad actions than by doing good ones. Every hour of useful work is precious. I've always found that you can control people better if you don't see too much of them. Usury once in control will wreck the nation. Just when we most need to be clear-headed, in order to face the hard facts before us, there is all too frequently a very real inclination to give way to dangerous tendencies merely as an escape from realities. I really believe my greatest service is in the many unwise steps I prevent. When it comes to politics, one has to do as one at sea with a sailing ship, reach one's course having regard to prevailing winds. Only the man who disciplines himself strictly can stand for long the terrific pace of modern war. Workers in the industry are the partners in the war of the fighting forces. Fortunately, the Canadian people in all their habits are essentially temperate people. The anxiety of most parents in seeing their sons and daughters enlist does not lie only in the fear of the physical dangers they may encounter. I would not wish to imply that most industrial accidents are due to intemperance. But, certainly, temperance has never failed to reduce their number. As to the advantages of temperance in the training of the armed forces and of its benefits to the members of the forces themselves, there can be no doubt in the world.